Yo, what's going on, guys? My name is Alex, and Colin Cowherd is apparently saying the Lakers might be delusional with Austin Reaves possibly getting an extension for quite a significant amount of money. Let's see what he's got to say about it.
The Lakers are a lock to keep Austin Reaves, and it could create major camp issues. Are the Lakers getting delusional because they found him? And because he plays well with LeBron. So did Matthew Dellavedova. So let's play a game we often play. So let's put up Austin Reaves' numbers for you. Last 2 years with the Lakers. He averages 10 a game, 2.6 assists, is not necessarily a dead-eye shooter. The other guy averages more and shoots better, not quite as many assists. Would you create major camp issues for that guy? Who is that guy? Grayson Allen. Yeah, I'm not creating major camp issues for Grayson Allen. Now, this guy is clearly not as good an offensive player. Who is he? Patrick Beverley. Better defensive player. Most of you can't stand Patrick Beverley. I like him. I think he's annoying. So let's do it again. This guy averages less, but basically is the same player. 1 bucket less per game. And this player is Mac McClung.
Okay. Before we get started really into this video, because I do have a good amount to say about this, I just want to say first of all, Colin Cowherd, you do not know ball. I first want to just really complain about why we're using a 2-year sample size when comparing a player. To me, it honestly just doesn't make sense, especially since you don't even need to really look at the stats to truly understand that Austin Reaves, from his rookie year 2 years ago to this last coming season, he has genuinely improved almost across the board. I think he's significantly improved as a ball handler. I think his shooting has gone better. Just his ability to score in general, whether it's off the ball or on the ball, has also really improved. Obviously, Austin Reaves still isn't the greatest defender, but I think a lot of his value does come from his offense, which I think have taken really significant jumps, and it's why the Lakers are considering giving him all this money with this extension. And I understand why we use sample sizes. If we're comparing all-time greats and we want to look at their peaks as players, it's probably good to look at maybe 2 to 3 seasons of their best work throughout their career and then compare them from that. But when we're comparing Austin Reaves, who has only had 2 years of experience at this point, was an undrafted player, and we're comparing him to guys like Mac McClung, who really haven't played in the NBA, and also NBA veterans who pretty much their entire career have been subject to be role players, I think it's kind of disrespectful, again, to the improvement Austin Reaves has shown in just his second year in the league. I can understand wanting to use a big sample size, but we really shouldn't be using multiple seasons, especially if we're using Mac McClung as an example. You guys see it here right on your screen. Mac McClung has played some NBA games, which I actually did not know. But it also makes sense because majority of these games that he did play, the 4 games that he played, they're all in meaningless games at the end of the season because he's been playing on teams that either weren't going to make the playoffs, so he's able to just kind of do whatever he wants in the last couple of games of the season, or he's been on teams that have made the playoffs and they don't really have any reason to try to win any more games, so they rest their starters, which gives guys like Mac McClung, slam dunk contest winner, more opportunity in the NBA. But again, he only played 4 games. So are we really going to say that Mac McClung is comparable to Austin Reaves because of Mac McClung's 4 NBA games? I jokingly say this as well. I think Colin Cowherd could have made a better argument, a nastier argument, but a better argument if he showed off Mac McClung's G League stats. You guys can see the stats here on the screen. It's actually quite impressive what he was doing in the G League. I didn't know how much of a bucket he was in the G League. But I think you really could have gotten some nasty arguments in here. You could have said, hey, he's doing this in the G League. Imagine what he could do in the NBA. And then someone may show you the NBA stats. And then that's where I come in and say, yeah, well, he really isn't getting the ball all that much. If you get him on his own team, man, you don't know what he can do. He could do much better as the best player on an NBA team. He can do a better job at that than Austin Reaves. If Colin Cowherd went that route, I actually think that would have been a better argument, because at least you have more of a sample size in the G League, because that's mostly where Mac McClung plays. And that's no disrespect to Mac McClung. Obviously, he's trying to pave his way and, actually become an NBA player. But I'm mostly bringing this up because I just think it's a flawed argument. There's just no way you're going to bring up a 2-year sample size with Austin Reaves, but then when you use that same 2 years with Mac McClung, it's only including 4 games. That just doesn't make sense, and it's stupid. And the last thing that I really need to bring up is the fact that he compared Austin Reaves to Patrick Beverley. And the reason why this was kind of on par with the disrespect of the comparison of Austin Reaves to Mac McClung, I think this is pretty comparable, because not only is he just showing points per game, assists per game, and 3-point percentage, which is, you know, I understand why you're doing that. Those are some pretty important stats, but that's all we're comparing with these guys. That I feel like there should be some more there if you are going to be comparing stats. But not only is he showing those stats and saying that they're comparable, he added the fact that, hey, Patrick Beverley is a better defender. And whoa, is Patrick Beverley better than Austin Reaves? Whoa, I never thought of that. You know what, Colin? You just might be onto something. You, my friend, I don't know what you've been on. I don't know what kind of drugs you're on. I don't know what you've been drinking. But I think those drugs have brought in you enlightenment, because this is something that I just never foresaw. I didn't know that, and honestly, when you bring that up, I think I agreed. No, fuck that. Are you serious? Are we really going to somewhat argue that Patrick Beverley is maybe, you know, maybe he is saying, oh, they're equal, but like, why would you show the stats and then bring up Patrick Beverley? Oh, but he's a better defender. Do you actually think that Patrick Beverley is better? I know this is kind of a funny video of me just kind of sticking up for Austin Reaves, who I think we can kind of tell at this point he is a very good player. Will he be an all-star player? I'm not too sure. The league is just way too talented to say that, but I did not need to look at stats, and I know I showed stats, you know, in this video, but I did not need to look at the stats to understand that I think Austin Reaves is deserving of this money. Not only did he improve from the year 1 to year 2 just in the regular season, but even in his same sophomore year this year, from regular season to playoffs, he saw a significant jump. Again, in the regular season, Austin Reaves was averaging around 13 points per game, shot 52% from the field, and almost 40% from 3, and that's really good, especially as a role player. Did it in about 29 minutes as well. I think that's pretty respectable. But again, we come to the playoffs, and with a even more significant role where he's playing 36 minutes per game en route to a Western Conference Finals appearance, which is something that not a lot of people foresaw, especially with how the roster looked in the beginning of the season. Austin Reaves went on and averaged 17 points per game, shot 46% from the field, which is a dip, but he did see a jump in his 3-point percentage with 44%, and was a really good free throw shooter as well. I think he improved as a playmaker as well throughout the playoffs, and even against the Nuggets, he averaged 21 points per game. I just don't know what else you want Austin Reaves to do, and again, I didn't need to look at these stats to know what Austin Reaves did in the playoffs. It was obvious what he did. He was great. He had the I'm him moment against the Grizzlies. Those are just the entire playoffs is probably some of the best highlights that you'll probably see from Austin Reaves, and a lot of it has to do with his game. When you look at guys like Patrick Beverley, want to know what their highlights are, especially with the Lakers? It's him pointing at a camera to the refs because they missed the call against the Celtics, and then in the beginning of the season when he got signed with the Lakers, talking about how, oh, he's gonna lead LeBron to the finals because the Lakers didn't make the finals. That's Patrick Beverley's highlights, and it has nothing to do with basketball. So I just wanted to come in this video and defend Austin Reaves because I do think he's deserving of the money. I think the Lakers need to resign him because they desperately just need talent on this team. They made the Western Conference Finals. They did get swept, but I think they can run it back. And depending on how things go, they could potentially make moves. Don't know how realistic those moves would be, but they could potentially swing their way and possibly make it to the finals. They are one of the better teams in the league. So I do think they need to get Austin Reaves. But Colin Cowherd, you do not know ball. And if you have statisticians doing all this research for you, you either need to fire them, do your own research, or 3, don't be a media person, because this there's just no way that you, if a statistician did do this, there's no way that you let that just slide. And that's how I know you don't know ball, because if it was me, not to brag, but if I had a statistician and he told me all the stuff that he gave you, I knew he was lying. But hey, those are my thoughts on what Colin Cowherd said. Let me know down below what y'all think. If you enjoyed, make sure to like and sub. Trying to get to 1,000 subs by the end of the year, so it'd mean a lot. You can also check out my socials down below in the description, and you can also check out this video on the screen where I talk about the Chris Paul trade to the Warriors and kind of what I expect throughout the next season with this new acquisition. Anyways, I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.